I wanted to see if we should start out a new intro, cause where we just like start talking instead of me doing that little 20-second thing, and like as we start we like do the banter or whatever, and then we're like, welcome to We Read It One Night. I'm Allison and I'm Rachel. Like,
That's what I thought we were doing, to be honest. Like every time I'm surprised that you haven't started recording already. Like this is like gold. I'm a great, I do a great cold open. How long ago did you get that coffee?
an hour and a half.
Oh, okay. That's reasonable. I went to tap class on Saturday at 10 a.m., which is very early for me.
That's bold. Yeah.
It was fun, but it was intermediate or advanced beginner slash intermediate. And then that was a 10 a.m. But at 9 a.m., she has like an absolute beginner one.
That's so rude to make that at 9 a.m. I
I
feel
know
like
it is really rude.
the beginners
Yeah.
should be
No, but
later.
it's
That's
like,
so
well, but
silly.
it's like motivation to get better, I guess, because then the advanced
You get to
is
go
at
later.
11. So like I'm working towards, or intermediate slash advanced is at 11. So
Oh,
like if you
okay.
work up toward that, like that's what I'm working for.
So it's a testament to how long ago I finished this book.
I, yeah.
That my note at the beginning is that it's because I was reading a different book at the same time. I was reading one of the Immortals After Dark books. It's like the
Hmm.
fourth one or something. But the heroine in that is the ghost of a French ballerina. And so the entire
Nice.
book involves a character with a French accent. Um, and I realized that I may need to revise my stance on
On the
French.
French? What?
Okay, no, okay, wait,
What
wait,
is
wait, 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 wait.
that?
I've never had a problem with the French as a people,
Yeah,
okay? And
right.
I
What do you
still,
mean you've never had a
no,
problem with the French as a
I
people?
think the language is stupid because
Mm,
it makes no sense. And I think if any
makes
person
no
that speaks
sense.
French, anyway, I never had a problem with French people. All the
Yeah,
French
right.
people I've met in my life have been very
That's a
nice.
lie. That's a lie.
That's not true. But something about Robert Petkoff, who's the narrator of their Mortals After Dark series,
He's even worse than usual.
he just did like his something about his French accent for this character really, really won me over.
How bizarre. Wow.
I was like, damn.
That is a shock if I've ever heard one. Robert Petkoff.
I think that's his name. I could have totally made that up. I feel like that's his name for sure. He's done the whole series.
Immortals After Dark. Which one was it?
It's like the fourth book or something. It's a vampire and the
Is it the one who wants to eat
ghost.
his wife?
No, that one never gets a book, Rachel. That's an offhand comment. I don't know why you keep bringing that.
I still yearn for a happy ending. And they could have one.
Maybe, you know what? Email Cressley Cole and be like, I just want to let you know that I've been thinking about these characters nonstop.
There's always a way out. There's one thing I've learned is that like
There's
everyone has
always
to
a
go through
way
a
out.
stint where they'd rather be dead for like
That's
hundreds of
true.
years, living dead. And nobody's really ever really dead. I will say I took almost no notes for this.
I will say that I finished this so long ago. This episode's going to be based on vibes and more vibes. Hello, welcome, listener, to We Read It One Night. I'm Allison. Rachel.
I'm Rachel. We don't always do this.
No, we don't. That's why I said I want to change.
Oh.
My
Yeah, but you
God.
didn't say what you wanted to change to.
I did, and you said we've always done that. And today we're
Okay.
doing Twisted Love Twisted Hate by Ana
Same thing.
Huang. Yeah, Twisted Hate. It's the third book in the Twisted franchise. Um, and we would love to be able to do the fourth book. But unfortunately, through no fault of our own, mostly definitely Jeff Bezos's fault or whoever runs Amazon these days, we can do the fourth book. Unless you, listener, would like to be entertained by Rachel reading the Spanish version of the book that is like there's not even an English, it's not even that there isn't an English audiobook available at any library. It's there's not even an English
regular
ebook
book.
available at any
Crazy.
library or a physical book because I did check the
Mm,
like local library to see whether you
you
could.
went in
No,
person?
no,
That's
I just looked
crazy.
online. I just looked on that you could
Mm,
search their physical catalog online. You don't have to go there.
mm, allegedly. Did
Yeah,
you
like
request
it's
it?
simply not available.
That's insane.
And so listener, let us know if you would like Rachel to listen to the Spanish version
I
and
don't have that
then
in me.
attempt to approximate the plot based on the few words that she remembers from the Spanish version. They also have French and
I want to say Finnish. There's definitely
there is some sort of
some.
like Danish, like Nordic, but there's also one that looks like Spanish, but the description is different from the one that I know is Spanish. So I think it's like Portuguese or something or
Yeah, I think we
Italian.
saw Portuguese too, for sure. No, I think the one I found was Finnish or something. It wasn't like a that type of Nordic language.
I don't really know the differences between the Nordic languages.
Well, Finnish, well, I think they're all the same except for Finnish is a completely different language group. It's like Uralic or something. It's a language isolate, actually,
Yeah,
possibly,
it's like
or something like that. Like
Swedish and
Swedish,
Danish are the
Norwegian, and
same or
Danish are all the
something.
same, I think. Like
Yeah,
they're
like
all
Serbian and
like a
Croatian.
spectrum. Yeah.
Hope they don't get mad at us.
Oh no, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is like, yeah, it could be like one of the Norwegian. Charmig Dudlik och smart nog at dolja dit. Christian Harper at et monster clad Ian Scratterseed gentlemana costume. Carlick
That
star
sounded very, maybe it was just the way you said it, but costume sounded very,
it did costume, yeah.
yeah, very
Gentlemana
Slavic.
costume. Carlick star, it has a bunch of like little circles above and like
Yeah,
dots,
yeah,
like
I
little
think I
dots and
saw
stuff.
that one.
Carlick star inte hugget I kurs hos honom tills han en dag kan sig dragen till kvinnan som bor precis under honom. Hon är den enda gatan han inte kan lossa. När han far chasen
Why
att
are
komma hana.
you reading that?
Normar. I feel like I'm saying like have you seen Wicked when she's doing like the spell book or whatever?
Yeah, I was
Normare
like, is this midsummer?
kaka
Like, are you like casting some sort of spell?
erbjuder han henne hagot hon inte kan saga ner deal. Influencern Stella Alonso are en
Ah,
romantiker
hey, that's
som
actually
halar.
influencer. I got that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Influencer.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Probably like a made up a recent one.
Woohoo!
Som halar sitt hjarta I ett järngrepp.
You're really
När
just gonna do the
ett
whole description.
när ett hot fran for driver hen till den farligast. Mannen hon någonsin träffat är hon frestad att släppa sin sparar. Trots Christians falla lagning var han henne att kunna i sig som jordens mittpunkt. Det har en förvriden kärlek fylld av hemligheter och lögner. När sanningen äntligen kommer i dagar hotar den att förstöra allt.
It's
That's the
Swedish.
entire summary. We have nothing to do. Yeah, I
Thank
think you're right.
you.
It's Swedish.
I just looked up
It
the
sounds right.
edition. It
Should
says
I,
Swedish right at the bottom
where, should
on the
I
library
Google
page.
translate it so we can find out what it says?
I'm pretty sure you're just gonna get what the English description says. Okay, I just want to say, listener, I don't know if you two felt like Rachel read that for like 10 minutes,
It
but
was
this
10 minutes.
description
Yeah, it
is
did feel very
two
long. I'm really
It
surprised
is
you let me keep going.
it is two paragraphs. Like, it's
Translate
so
from
much
Russian.
shorter.
Translate from Swedish to English. I Google Translate. It's not really cooperating. It's showing it to me only in some like Slavic language. I don't know
Wait,
if you can see
can I just read I think this is
Russian.
the French. Deate seducie por la saga. Ah, it's all in caps. I just need you to know that
What?
Mas Explosiva is all in caps in, I think, the Spanish
That is not Más explosiva. So wait, that's exciting. Big things to come.
Big things to come. I think it's probably the explosive finale to the like
Mm,
popular series, is I'm guessing what it says. But it's just
mm.
funny that they put
Don't worry. You
Mass
got Dante to look
Explosiva
forward
in all
to.
capitals. Well, yeah, that's okay. Wait. I do want to emphasize. So in this book, Twisted Hate, how many other series she set up? Because not
Really?
only did she did Dante is like is like her
Yeah.
newest series, like a mafia, but
That's the only
also
one I
that
picked up on.
athlete guy,
Oh,
so
really?
is a hero.
Mm,
So
that
like
makes sense.
she's like throwing it around. And I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure Dante's part of the mafia. So and considering that him and Christian had matching cufflinks, Christian is also part of the mafia, I
I think they're
guess.
part of a club. I think it's part of a club that's like for people who do illegal shit. Because in the very beginning of the fourth book, they mentioned some guy getting kicked out of it. That's probably oh, they're also very old. They're also very good friends,
Yeah, well that much
apparently. And
was
this
obvious.
the painting was setting up
The
something for the
painting
fourth
comes
book.
back. Wait, so
Yeah, the
as
painting certainly comes
promised,
back.
in our first episode on Twisted Love, we were like, why the fuck does this painting keep getting mentioned? And then some
Mm.
lovely listener came into our DMs and was like, hey, the painting like comes up in Twisted Hate. And so I was like, ooh, goody, we're finally gonna get. But I don't think we've fully gotten
No,
the
we haven't. I'm
painting.
saying so. I didn't even remember that it was in the first one. I'm saying it's important in the fourth one.
But it's also in the second book. Reese has to go back to the US and he has to do it, we think, for someone named Marta. But the fucking painting is called Marta.
Magda.
Magda,
Who's
that's what I meant.
Reese?
Reese is the bodyguard that's with
Oh
Bridget,
yeah,
the
yeah,
princess.
yeah.
He has
Magda.
to go. And Magda's the name of the painting, not a person. Because in that episode, we were like, who the fuck
Mm-hmm.
is Magda? Has she been mentioned
Mm-hmm.
before? But it's the
Mm.
painting. The painting is tying the whole series together.
Yeah, you're right. The ugly ass painting with Josh with his like zero taste. That is really funny.
That's not what I like. I feel like that's so unexpected. Like I
Yeah. Why? Well, you're just underestimating Ana Huang. Ana Huang's commitment to artistry, continuity, diversity, equity. I don't know, NET.
But you know what? I really appreciate it. I really appreciate she's laying breadcrumbs.
Mm-hmm.
And
No,
we
she
know in
definitely
this book she
is.
lays breadcrumbs for two
She's got to set herself
other
up for
series.
success. Yeah, she can't just what's she gonna do? Just finish a series and leave herself high and dry.
She's
Nowhere
like,
else
what
to
am I
go.
doing?
Yeah, she needs to create the Ana Huang universe. What
She
else is
had
all
and
this
she
for?
has.
Yeah,
She has. Exactly. What else?
yeah.
What else is this for if not
What else is there?
to create the Ana Huang
As in the words of
animated
Derek.
universe?
So I kind of have a hard time with this book because I still think of Josh as like the creepy like bozo brother. Remember in the first book we were like so
Oh yeah, we were
skeptical.
like, why is he still around campus?
Why is he like hanging out with like a bunch of like much younger, or I guess not, but like much younger when they were like 21 and he was like what like 26 or they were
Yeah.
like 20. I don't really
Yeah, he's
remember.
still around. I don't know whether he was still in medical school or like what, but like we were like,
I think
why
he
is he
was, but
there?
like still it was like he was like hosting like a bunch of like undergrad parties and stuff
Yeah.
for like
Yeah,
way
we were
after he
like,
was
why
an
is he
undergrad.
there? And I have also mentioned that I tried to read this book before and like DNF'd it halfway through or something.
Hmm.
I'm gonna be honest, I can't I was while I was reading, I was like waiting to get to a part where I could be like, oh, that's what made me like so
Hmm.
suspicious about like whatever that I went to go check the Goodreads reviews and then like
Hmm.
decided to DNF. I didn't, I was like, I don't know why, like what like red flag like went up for me a
Hmm.
year and a half ago or whenever the fuck I first tried to read this book.
Hmm.
I mean, it would have been right after we did the first book.
Hmm.
And I don't hate Ja. I was like, because this is like the least popular book in the series. Like a
That
lot of
makes
people hate
sense.
Josh.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. Yeah, just because he's just like he doesn't. It's not that he's like really offensive in any way. He just like doesn't do anything for anyone. I feel like.
No, more people hate him because of specifically what happens to them, because of the fight that they have at the end and what he does. The fact that he says, I forgive you, fucks her, and then like kicks her out and is like, I don't forgive you. A
Hmm.
lot of people are like, that's unforgivable. And I remember because that's what I read in the Goodreads reviews that that was something that was happening. And then I like pulled up the ebook and like read that scene and was like, oh, I don't like, no, I'm outie. And my opinion has
Hmm.
changed. Like, I still have issues with that scene that I would love to discuss. but I'm not like, ooh, Josh is nasty and like completely
Yeah, I
irredeemable.
guess I just like wasn't that invested in him to begin with, so it didn't feel like much of a betrayal. Because like, in order to be betrayed, you have to like care about someone, you know?
It is really interesting to me. That's true. You're
Right?
like, I forgot that he existed, honestly. It
Yeah.
wasn't love, it wasn't hate, it was
Just
indifference.
indifference. Yeah.
One might say.
Yeah.
I I just thought it was interesting at the end of that. He doesn't really grovel. And I thought it was
No.
especially interesting. I mean, he says like sorry, and it's like
Hmm.
moody and broody and whatever. But it's just interesting that I felt like this book more than anything, like Josh's love, like I've like rarely been hit over the head by like what a hero's love language is.
Hmm.
And Josh's love language is acts of service. Like that, like
Wow.
over and over and over again. We get smacked over the
What?
head with that.
What do you mean?
I'll point it out as we go through our notes. I know the one I can definitely remember is when he like drops his
Hmm.
um he doesn't go to New Zealand and instead he goes to her small Ohio town and then he like basically organizes her mom's funeral for her so that she
Hmm.
doesn't have to deal with it.
Seems like the bare minimum, to be honest.
I mean, I'm not saying that's something that like I'm not saying he should be praised for that. I'm saying that's an example of how like his character shows
Hmm.
his
Okay.
how he cares for people through acts of service. That and that's the only one I can remember right now. I'm sure I'll see more examples in my notes. But then in his grovel, he didn't do anything. And I was like, that seems
Right.
so out of character.
Right, I guess. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't
Like
know.
he didn't, there wasn't some like grand gesture or whatever to like win her back to
I don't
him.
even need a grand yeah, I don't even know like what he would have done. Like he beat up the guy that pushed her down the stairs. But
Hmm.
honestly, that was
Which
for
like
him. That
also,
wasn't
right,
for
I was gonna
her.
say like bare minimum. I don't know. Also like, yeah. Yeah, that was interesting. I don't know. All the random stuff that happens felt so like maybe this is actually maybe this isn't a fair criticism of the book. It's just like that I read it like so spread apart and like so disconnected. And, like by the end on like three times speed because I was like trying to finish it so we could record that one day. But it just felt very like random and it's like what was the point of her mom's funeral? And like I kind of didn't really like
I think that was a
care
it's
about
really
like
interesting that you say that. I think it is because you read it so
okay.
far apart. Because I thought this was
Okay.
one of
I'm willing to take the blame
so
for that.
far, I think the most cohesive book.
Hmm. Okay.
Like the first book bat there was like three finales. Like we
Hmm.
kept thinking it was going to end and then like another thing happened and another one.
You're right. And I was like, how is it? I did have the same moment of like, how is there still an hour and a half left? And the answer was like,
Yes.
I'm still not really sure. Like nothing big happened. It's just kind of
No.
like, can you just
And
slow
then
wrap up?
the second book was cohesive, but it was basically like two parts. There was like the beginning part that was like all these like random
Yeah.
scenes, and then there was like
Hmm.
what felt like the main
Hmm.
meat of the book. And this
Hmm.
part felt like one continuous story.
Hmm.
And it was the first book for me in the series that felt like that. And listen, the second one is still my favorite, and the first one is still such a wild ride, and I love it for that.
It
So,
really is. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, that's probably on me.
Yeah.
No, I'm more just about like, I don't know, like why did it matter that her mom, like what was the point of like having her mom be like part of it and then like the mom dies randomly halfway through and
I think
like
it's like closure because because that's what made me think like their
hmm,
wounds, their core
or like
wounds
parallel
are right
past and
because he
mine or
has the
parallel
problem with his
lines.
shitty father and she has the problem with her
Hmm.
shitty mom and they both like kind of
Hmm.
assist each other in healing
Hmm.
those.
Hmm.
And I think yeah, it's kind of like there's not going to be like a sappy reunion with her mom where her mom like begs for her forgiveness and is like, "Can we try again?" Like it's
Hmm.
like sometimes your parents are just shitty and you get to bury them and move on. You
Hmm.
can't kill your parents. But
Oh God.
oh, you know what I realized? I feel like this is slightly relevant to this book because they both work in the healthcare system in some way. Josh is a doctor listener, and Jules is like doing some sort of like charity like summer internship before had like a healthcare clinic or whatever. So we haven't recorded since Luigi rose to prominence. But I would like to say that I had to call Blue Cross Blue Shield because they like didn't cover it. Like it was stupid. I had to call them and be like, you need to reprocess this. And I haven't had to had too many interactions with like health insurance companies, but like I just would like to say that this recent interaction with Blue Cross Blue Shield, I've never had a better customer service experience. And
Interesting.
I really feel like part of that is because of
Weird.
Luigi.
Yeah, yeah, because I've never had to
I
like
didn't have to fight with them at all.
well, but the fact that you had to call them at all, like why weren't they just doing it automatically?
Well, it was like a thing where like my referral, like I have to get my plan, like I have to get a referral from my primary and the referral was expired, but I didn't know, so I had to like get a retro whatever. Like it was partially my fault. Like it wasn't that the insurance company like fucked up. It was that I had to like fix something and then tell them to reprocess. Regardless, I was on hold for like 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It was a total of like less than 10-minute phone call. The man immediately, I didn't have to argue with anyone. I wasn't placed on hold and like bounced around to 5 different people. They were like,
Listen.
oh, yeah, absolutely. We'll do that for you. Have a great day. I was like, wow.
Wow. Incredible.
Thank you for your service, Luigi.
Yeah. No, for real. Damn. Yeah, I've never had an easy. Was it as easy as like calling up CVS Pharmacy though?
Honestly, it was easier than calling CVS Pharmacy because CVS Pharmacy not does not want to let you speak to a pharmacist. Like you have to, it's a straight battle. Every time I fucking call CVS Pharmacy, it's a fucking battle to get through their stupid automated system.
And I do have to respect that protecting their pharmacist piece.
Like I get it, but also I'm like, all of this information is information that I could get online. I would not be
Well,
calling
I think
if
that's
I did
why
not
they're,
speak.
I think that's why they're like, I think probably enough
Yeah.
people do call and they're like, we don't want to answer this. Like, yeah, you could get this online.
Yeah.
It's really annoying though. Yeah, I hate how slow it talks. I just wish if there was like a two times speed for those like phone things,
Yeah.
you know, that's what gets me. Okay, let's focus.
First of all, I'm just disappointed. Josh has like a lesbian nurse friend, and I'm sad she didn't get more screen time. That's my
Maybe
first
she
note.
will. Maybe that was another setup. Maybe you're wrong that there's
Maybe
actually
she
three
has
setups.
a book.
Hmm.
You know
You
what?
think?
Every author needs their first lesbian book, and
Mm.
I vote her. She can fall in love with like Dante's hot mafia sister or something.
Mm.
That's what I would like to see.
I will say, sorry, not that this is the book we're reporting, but the fourth book so far has like one of the most plausible fake dating setups I've ever seen. Not on both sides, because that would be too much to ask, but like, well, actually, I mean, it's not, it's honestly not the
What's
most
the setup?
implausible. She's like an influencer and needs like a boyfriend to boost her followers. And they like get brand deals.
Oh, hmm.
Like that makes total sense. And then he's like, oh, I just like need someone to go to functions with me or whatever. But it's like, whatever. Like that could
He's
be.
like, meanwhile, here's this really good deal on a luxury apartment
Well,
because I
right. And
have
like,
a good job
yeah. And he
deal.
also gives her, so like, you know how she's Jules and her are roommates.
Yes, Jules
So
and
Jules
Stella.
moves out, obviously, and
Yeah,
he lets her stay, only paying half the rent if she waters his plants.
of course. Yeah, listener, they like go search for this new apartment and like they go and they're like, wow, there's like this beautiful like high-rise apartment in like DC. And they're like, oh, we can't afford this. And then like we think, oh, they're getting kicked out, whatever. I mean, you knew that they weren't, but Christian Harper waltzes down, sees Stella, immediately has the like, oh, woo,
I mean, I
guys.
guarantee that he like knew she was gonna, I guarantee that
I
the whole
don't
reason
know,
they
because
got the
he seemed
tour.
so like, oh my gosh. They
I don't
got
know,
the
he's
tour
definitely like
because
stalking
Reese was
her.
like, hey, could you give I feel like I don't know. I'll be curious to see
Okay.
whether he starts stalking her then or whether
Hmm.
he starts stalking her later. But yeah, they get, and I was like, why can't a random hot rich man who owns an apartment building fall in love with me at first
Because
sight.
you don't go on any apartment tours, obviously. You need to go on
I
apartment tours.
It's true.
You need to be seen, put in the work.
Well, it didn't happen to me when I was searching for apartments in New York. I went on plenty of goddamn tours.
It was too a long time ago.
Yeah, but I was younger and hotter then.
No, you were younger and more immature.
Yeah, but Stella's only like 23.
No.
How old is she at the end of it in that? How old is Jules? Jules just graduated law school.
Yeah, so they're at least like 24, 25.
Okay. In the first book, they were 21. And
Yeah.
Ava was like marrying Alex, basically.
Well, no, they don't get married.
No, no, no. But he proposes in this book,
He doesn't actually propose.
but he will.
He just talks
He
about
will.
proposing.
No, 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 because we see the ring. At one point, Ava's like, look, like in the epilogue or something. She definitely
Really?
has the ring by the end of the book.
I was just gonna say I'm actually surprised that there's no mention of that wedding so far in this book.
It's probably the next one.
She actually hasn't mentioned like any of her friends except for like Jules for ditching her. Like the fact that
Who?
Jules like
Oh,
in this fourth book.
Stella. Okay, you keep
Yeah.
talking about this. I'm like, what are you talking about? Who's she?
I'm sorry.
You're talking about Jules. I was like, what do you mean? Jules is like talking about her friends all the time.
I'm gonna be honest. Stella and Bridget are like the same name to
Yeah,
me.
I
I
agree.
don't know why. They're very, very connected. Well, also because they're like described as kind of the same person.
Are they?
I know they're both supposed to be like the tall, pretty ones. Like that's vaguely, or like
Yes,
really put together, like
but
perfect princess, perfect, whatever.
Bridget is blonde and Stella is brunette.
Her last name's like Alonso, and she keeps talking about the Alonso, so she's definitely Hispanic. I don't know, but also you're saying that like I'm sure she said their hair colors, but also it's like so not emphasized. And also I don't remember hearing it until like literally this book.
Well,
So like it's
except for the
been
fact that Jules is a redhead. We know
that's
that is
true.
emphasized because he calls her
That's
red
true.
in the most. When I tell you, Rachel, that when he started calling her red, how I was violently catapulted back into my Marauders era fanfic fiction days of like a decade ago. No, more than a decade ago at this point, because that's what Sirius calls Lily. And like that era
Mm.
of Marauders fan fiction,
Mm.
that's he calls her Red. Lily's nickname is Red. I think it started with a book
Really
called
funny.
The Life and Times.
That is very silly.
A lot of listen, the current Marauders era is all obsessed with the fan fiction, all the young dudes.
Hmm.
But let me tell you, you're there was nothing. All of that, all the young dudes doesn't exist without that era of Marauders
Mm.
era.
When was All the Young Dudes written? Is it not older? Is it recent? Is it more recent than
I think
like
it was like
other ones?
2020 or something.
Oh,
I think it was
weird.
like
That's really
relatively
weird.
recent.
Wow, I really assumed it was like a, recent discovery, like rediscovery.
I think it's 2018.
Hmm.
I think it's 2018.
When it was finished or when it started coming out.
That's it says November 12th, 2018 is the only date that's appearing on the. Oh my God, it has a Wikipedia article.
Of course it does.
That's how big
That
it is.
tracks.
Have you seen the drama between Ugg and the OG Ugg?
I know, but I didn't know there was like heating up drama, but I did see like Uggs since 1984 or 74.
74.
Then one of their videos
Yeah.
came up for me and I was like, it looks nice. Got removable insoles.
Yes. So there that so first of all, I didn't know Ugg was a type of shoe.
I didn't know
But
that
like it's
either.
literally just a generic type of shoe.
What
Um
kind?
like the boots, like that boot the boots, those are
Okay.
Uggs. It's like
Okay.
Ugg boots are like just a type of shoe.
Okay.
Um, UGG since 1974 has been making them
The
obviously
same
since
font.
1974.
Uh-huh.
They own the trademark and like that design, whatever, in Australia and New Zealand. And UGG,
Hmm.
American UGG,
Okay.
owns it everywhere else.
Hmm.
Because I guess they
Makes
sold,
sense.
like, I've seen differing accounts. I'm not sure whether like
No,
they
or
sold
they
it to
just
them for
trademarked it
every.
first. No, or they just trademarked it first. I realized
Yeah.
that.
And now they're suing UGG since 1974.
That's such bullshit. I know. I can't believe that's like the way the law works. Like we need like international trademarks or something. But there's the whole thing about like presumption against extraterritoriality of like, laws
Now you're
generally
speaking
speaking.
things that I don't know. You know who would know though? Jules. Jules would know about that because she's a lawyer.
Yeah, Jules would know. She's a lawyer TM.
She's a lawyer TM. And she does, we actually don't learn whether she ever passes the bar. The book
Are you
doesn't extend
sure?
that far. I don't think we
I thought
learn
it
whether she, or
did. I
maybe
thought
she
it
does. Maybe it's
did.
in the epilogue.
Yeah, of course she passes the bar. That's so
Well,
silly.
yeah, no, obviously, but
It's not hard. I don't know. And the fact that her law firm won't let her start before passing it is like
oh yeah, see
wild.
that seemed odd to me.
I think it was just I think it was just a plot device. It was just a plot device to have her be working at the clinic in the time in like the meantime, so that she could like hang out with Josh.
There was like one other thing that I wanted to ask you about that I didn't know. Anyway, this book has a lot of some of my favorite enemies to lovers microtropes, which like I really would like to thank Ana Huang for. It has the whole like you know something's wrong with your enemy because they're not like bickering with you like they usually are, and then the
Hmm.
whole like hero thinks about who his quote unquote enemy is gonna like hypothetical man she's going to marry one day and like insults him in his head and it's like what a dick.
Hmm. Yeah, or like the work party. I can't believe he doesn't make her breakfast.
He does. No, no,
No, he
no. He
doesn't.
does. He says, I didn't make you breakfast, but then she gets into the kitchen and there's like plated, like covered, like pan stacks of like pancakes and like eggs and shit.
No, she walks in on him eating breakfast for himself, says, "Is there any for me?" He says, "No, fuck you." And then he goes to the shower and she's like, "Oh, weird. He like left his whole plate, most of his plate. Like not like some most of it, but like not all of it. But it's still like here, eat my like leftovers. Like I
Maybe
didn't
he
think
just
of you.
made
I'm not
extra
gonna
for
like
her.
yeah, but that's still not the same. And he says no. Like it's just not nice.
So I was about like I'd say like 60% into this book, even though like I knew their whole fight was coming later. Um I was like, I feel like Josh and Jules are good. Like I'm good. Like I feel like I'm
There what's like
fine.
more to
Like I
come.
feel like
That's what
they've
I'm
reached their
saying.
HEA.
Yeah.
Now I am more invested. Now I'm mostly focused on whether Josh and Alex are going to mend their friendship.
Oh
That was
yeah, that's
the most
true.
important relationship to me in this book. I was like, when are we
Mm-hmm. When
let
are
the
we gonna get
bros be bros
reconciliation?
again? Like,
Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah.
how do you feel about Alex now? Were you rooting for them?
Oh yeah, well, I don't really remember that much about the first book, if I'm being honest.
You've
So
wiped
like,
your memory
yeah.
of how horrible Alex.
Was I mad about them being friends?
No, no, you just hate Alex. You just like hated Alex.
Did I?
Even when we
Okay.
did the second book,
I just thought he was
you were
silly.
like every time Alex appears, my fight or flight gets
Oh, that's
activated.
true. Yeah, it is very anxiety inducing. Like, why is he always there? But Josh is also just
Oh,
so like, what?
this was the thing I wanted to ask you about. And I'm asking you this for legal reasons in a completely non-legal context. I'm not asking you this as a lawyer. I'm asking you this as a random third-party observer who happens to know more about American law than me. At one point, they're bonding over the injustice of the American healthcare system. Great. And also the justice system. And they're trying to they get some guy who
Oh
can't
yeah,
get
that
health
didn't
insurance or something.
really
They're
make
getting his like
sense.
criminal record wiped. Is that possible? Can you
It
clear an
is.
adult's criminal record?
To get something expunged, it is possible, but also it would never happen. I don't think it would ever happen like that quickly. Like that was like silly.
Yeah.
But whatever. Again, plot device. Like also, but kind of pointless plot device
But
actually.
can you do it?
Yeah, you can. Depends on the state. Everyone has different rules. But like sometimes if you like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly, but yeah, it's definitely possible.
Like,
And like,
is it only if you were like actually if they actually prove that you were like wrongly convicted, or like can they
no,
just do
no,
it
no,
for
no.
shits and
Sometimes it'll
giggles?
be like, no, yeah, sometimes it'll just be like, oh, it's been like a long time and you like served your time. And like we're gonna stop like having this have all the collateral consequences.
Oh,
And like,
huh.
yeah, I think it depends. Yeah, I think it might. I mean, yeah, it vastly depends on which state you're in. And like, I think there's usually rules. It's like maybe not for like some more serious, but for like, I don't know, like low level, like, I don't even know what. It depends. Like, I don't know, like you were caught with like pot when you were like 19.
Yeah. I feel like that's what it was in like this book that like he got like caught smoking weed or something, and so
It
they're
was
taking
some,
it
or
off his
I think it's like a
record.
robbery or something, like stealing
Was
TVs, or
it?
maybe I made that
Oh,
up.
I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
I don't
That
know.
seems very unfamiliar to me.
Yeah, I have no idea. But yeah, it definitely is possible. It's just like, Yeah, but I feel like it would never happen that quickly just because nothing ever happens that quickly, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, in the justice system.
Um, in DC, you must have been convicted of an eligible misdemeanor or felony bail reform act offense. You must have completed your sentence. You must not have any disqualifying convictions or arrests. You must have waited at least 8 years since your last interaction with the criminal legal system.
Does that include like tickets, like speeding
Probably,
tickets?
well, no, well, all right, let's see what an eligible. See, eligible misdemeanor means any misdemeanor that is not an ineligible misdemeanor.
It's so unhelpful.
Anyway, yeah, basically that's all to say. Like, yeah, that's probably unrealistic. But and also was not important to the plot at all. I was
I
expecting it
think
to
they were
be.
just bonding over how the criminal justice system and the American healthcare system is shitty. And you know what? I appreciate that.
Yeah, but it could
Very
have been like
timely.
something, I guess. Yeah, it was because his wife like needed healthcare or something, or like needed couldn't
Yeah, it was
work
something
so that
like
he could get a
that.
job.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Can we talk about so like obviously because this is a like Ana Huang kind of goes back to form here in which the end is just like random crime, like boom boom boom, like
Hmm.
and basically the setup is that like Jules had a shitty abusive ex-boyfriend and he I was very confused with the sex tape. He had her do a sex tape, but she had sex with like a random middle-aged
Yeah,
man so they could rob him.
I thought the details of that were gonna come back, were gonna come out too, and there was no
I
explanation.
thought that I was confused as to why it was with a random middle-aged man and not just like the ex-boyfriend with a sex tape. Like I was confused about
Well,
that.
and that's what I kept expecting to come back. Like I thought that part of the reason she was afraid of it coming out was because like she could get convicted of something. Like
Yeah, I don't know.
somehow that was like evidence that she had stolen from this guy and he could like come after them or something. But like that didn't really seem, it seemed like she was mostly just afraid because like it was a sex tape in general, which is
Yeah.
like, but like, yeah, there was that seemingly unnecessary added layer of like having stolen from
It was
him.
confused at first. Like I was like, oh, it's
Hmm.
definitely the but yeah, so the ex-boyfriend is like, go get the ugly painting or I'm
Yeah.
gonna send the sex tape everywhere. Which is like not funny, but also like the ugly painting.
Yeah, I know. It's very, very silly. Yeah, that's apparently like very valuable ostensibly.
Yes, very valuable painting.
Hmm.
And Jules does steal it. She like stages a robbery. She like fakes a break-in to Josh's apartment.
Yeah.
Takes the painting, but she's like set up a whole like deal. Like basically she's Christian. She like is like, "Hey Christian, can you help me?" And he's like, "Why would I do that?" And she's like, "I'll talk you up to my friends." Wink. And he's like, why would I? Fine, I'll help you. I don't know why you think I would want
No, he's
that."
like, give me a favor in writing. Like, I'm sure that's gonna come back.
Yeah, but I thought it was also like, "I'll talk you up to my friends."
No, I think she offers that and he's like, no, or whatever.
But
But
his eyes
yeah,
like gleam or something.
yeah, for
Anyway, he's
sure.
like a deal with her basically to like erase the sex tape
Hmm.
and also like get the painting back or whatever. And she's basically intending to like
Hmm.
stage the robbery and then like bring the painting back, no harm done, like never tell him. But then she does tell him like a fool, like boo boo the fool.
Hmm.
I mean, not like it's good that she told him, but also like he's a little bitch baby about it.
Hmm.
Um, and he's like, she's like, "I'm sorry." She tells him, and then he gets mad. They fuck. And then he's like, "Actually, I didn't forgive you. You dirty slut whore, get out."
I guess what gets me is like, why it doesn't occur to her from the get-go. Like, if this painting is really that valuable, she could have been like, hey, like Josh, let's sell this for enough money that like I don't care if I like can't work
I,
my stupid job anymore. Like,
she
right? I
wants
don't
to
know.
work, TM.
Yeah, it's a convoluted scheme.
It's a convoluted scheme. Okay, so but my question is like, okay, and I'm still on the fence about this. When I first, this was part of the reason that I DNF'd it in the beginning. But I also still feel icky about it now. Like, on what level, if at all, do you feel like him fucking her, like with the basically the express purpose of like kicking her out or whatever, like pulling that like the rug out from under her. Like, if did it feel like sexual assault to you?
No, I didn't really give a fuck.
I don't know. It just
I
like
really didn't give a fuck. I was like, whatever, it's like par for the course. Also, it's supposed to be a dark romance. If fine, if you could, it's a stretch. I think it's a stretch to call it anything. Call it.
I don't know if it was full sexual assault, but it felt like there was like a level of non-consent there that felt icky to me. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think. I think that's a stretch.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, but he kicks her out because he has all these trust issues because with his dad. It's just so bizarre to me that like his I mean, I guess it's not bizarre, but like his whole like half of his character development is like making peace with like his father who tried to kill his sister on numerous occasions.
Well, they don't make peace. It's just like getting
I
closure.
know, like him like making
Hmm.
closure, but like the fact that like this man tried to kill your sister twice. Like what's to be conflicted about?
Well, because it's like someone he didn't know. Like I don't know. Ostensibly, it's like his only parent that raised him,
Yeah.
and he didn't know all this about him. I don't know. That makes sense.
It's just but yeah, that's why he has all those trust issues. That's why he like freaks out when Jules quote unquote lied to him. But the way he freaks out as if like she's been lying to them their whole relationship when this like the lie was like a total of a week. Like a week at the end.
Yeah, it is a really shitty lie. Like I don't know. That would be really scary. And he is a man, so I guess it's different. But like, imagine how like awful and violated you would feel if you thought someone had like broken into your house. And he goes on that whole thing about how he's like, and someone must have been like watching me and whatever. And that's like
Yeah.
so like I don't know.
No, he's absolutely valid in getting upset with her. Like I don't think he's out of line for being upset. But the way he talks about it for so long, it's as if she's like long conning him. Like the entire breadth of their relationship, she's been pulling a fast one on him. When like
Mhm.
it was like a week tops, and she told you, like she confessed.
Well, I guess he's like, you've been long conning me in that you're capable of this. And I like thought you weren't. I don't know why I'm defending Josh, but like this is like devil's advocate here. And it's a little silly. Again, he is just like a big baby. And like maybe it's just been so long since I read the first book, so I don't really remember like exactly what he has to suffer in all of this. I
He's
can't
just
really like,
betrayed that his papa tried to kill his
which
sister.
does suck. Like, yeah,
And
that
okay, wait.
sucks.
So I thought in the first book we learned that the dad essentially like staged their mom's suicide. Like that he essentially killed the mom and it was like a staged suicide. But Josh in this book seems to think that it was for real just a
That makes
suicide.
sense. And I feel like we thought that as we were reading the book, that like clearly he must have killed the mom. But I think she just like commits suicide because everyone thinks that she tried to kill her daughter. Because I think she was like a little bit, off her rocker, so to speak.
She was like I think she got addicted to drugs or something.
Mm,
She became an addict.
mm.
Yeah, I don't know, but I was just like I swear to God that
That he like also actually killed the mom.
yeah, that he like
I
purposely
don't
gave her an
know.
overdose. And so everyone thought it was just like an
Or, like
accident
forced her
slash
to
like
overdose.
potential suicide, but like it was actually the dad
I don't know. That would make sense. I think it's more just like he's quote unquote at fault because he like,
because he's the reason he like pushed her that far. Yeah.
mm,
Oh, another enemies to lovers, the microtrope that
mm,
we do have a who did this to you scene because she quite literally
mm,
gets pushed down the stairs after taking the bar. And then
yeah.
Josh like sees her in the hospital. It's like, who did this to you? And then I love that she like beats him up.
What do you
And then
mean?
he beats Mac, the
Hmm.
ex-boyfriend up. And
Hmm.
then immediately after Josh is or Alex is just like, you're dumb. You are, quote, 90%, 99% of the people in this world are idiots. You, my friend, are one of them.
Mm. I also enjoyed the cage diving with sharks through line.
Yes. Oh,
Like at the
wait. I'm
beginning,
so
she's
glad that you
like,
picked up on that.
yeah, at the very beginning, she's like, she's on a date or something, and she's like, why don't any of these men have interesting hobbies? Like cage diving with sharks or something interesting,
Yeah.
TM.
And then the next chapter, Josh is like, I'm deciding
Yeah.
between like hiking in New Zealand or cave diving or cage
Yeah. And
diving
it
with
comes
sharks in
back at
South
the
Africa.
end
Yes.
when he's like thinking about Alex's birthday part or bachelor party, and he's like, we could go cage diving with sharks. Hear me out.
I was like, this was not on my bingo card for this to be like the
Yeah.
recurring theme in this book, but honestly, like
Yeah, I don't
I
hate
really do
it.
love it. I love it. I love Alex and Josh, bros
Yeah.
being bros. I love cage diving with sharks. Oh, I would also like to state this occurred to me when um around the same time that like Josh was beating up the ex-boyfriend, like Alex was
Hmm.
dropping truth bombs about how like he got mad, he wanted Jules to tell him the truth, and then he got mad when she told him the truth.
Hmm.
Um, Ana Huang was absolutely reading Harry Potter around the point that she wrote that section of the book
Why?
because she mentions house elves in cleaning up the
Mm.
Max blood. And then like
Mm.
two paragraphs later, she says that someone has the quote emotional range of a teaspoon. I'm
Mm.
like,
Oh, sorry, Bob.
girl.
Maybe it's just in her blood, the way that it's in ours, the back of her head.
I feel like those two so close together. Like
Hmm.
I was like, she was absolutely doing a little reread at the time that she was
Yeah.
writing this. I see you, Anna. Oh, I want to say so at one point there's like a lot of like they have a lot of little mini like traveling things in this
Hmm.
book.
Hmm.
Like they go to her mom's funeral, they go to Bridget and Reese's wedding, which like, okay, they were
Hmm.
staying at a hotel, and I know like in universe, in the book, they're specifically like, we're not staying at the palace because the palace is only for like only
Hmm.
like the like royal
Family or
family is staying
whatever.
at the palace.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that palace is fucking huge. You're
I
telling me that her
know.
bridesmaids, that her bridal
Hmm.
party
Hmm.
isn't staying at the fucking palace? I was
Hmm.
so mad for them. I was so angry about this. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. This is an
Hmm.
injustice.
For real.
And that leaves us open to situations in which Ava's walking into Josh's hotel room and she's like, weird. The woman that you're hooking up with, who's in the bathroom right now, has the same shoes as Jules. That's crazy. That's
I
so
know.
weird.
I know. I really expected her at the end to be like, I knew it all along or whatever.
No, she's like flabbergasted.
Very silly.
I do also feel, oh, wait, cat scale. The painting, the ugly painting looks like a quote, herd of cats threw up on it,
Mm.
unquote. So,
Oh, the other thing I thought, okay, you know how in the very beginning she randomly gets like fucking mugged and then like manages
yes.
to turn the gun on the mugger? I
Yeah,
really thought
incredible.
that was gonna come back. I swear,
No.
I swear, I think I said this. Like in the first, I think it's the first book or maybe the second book, whatever one has access to like security is like Jules has like a whatever, like shocking background, but like that's her business, whatever. And I really
Yeah.
thought it was gonna be that she was some kind of like super spy. And then when she had the mugger, I was like so ready. Like, you know
She
what I
has a
mean?
license to kill. Yeah.
Right. Like it made so much sense. And instead it didn't come back at all. Like it made no fucking sense. Like, and then when he's like when he calls her to like report the robbery, tell her the robbery, and she says something like, I don't know, like she's gonna try to catch him, and he's like, she's almost said it like she was really gonna catch him or something. And I was like, honestly, you've seen her like turn the gun on a mugger. Like, you should absolutely think that catching a fucking ugly painting thief is like very much in her skill set. Like, you should be more suspicious, buddy. Like, you don't know where she came
Underestimating
from.
her.
Have you even Googled her? Yeah.
Yeah, have you even Googled her? Are you kidding me?
Mm.
Um, can I just okay, so I have two things. One, when they go to like on a ski lodge vacation. Again, this is just one of their little like random mini trips that they're taking throughout this book.
Hmm.
And she gets her period, and the way she describes her cramps, like before
Oh
she
yeah, that
says
never
that they're
comes
period
back.
cramps. I mean, it's just like a cute sick bed scene. Like
Yeah,
he like
whatever.
rubs
Yeah.
her back, like whatever. Like that's par for the
Hmm.
course for romance novels. But before she says that they're period cramps, the way she's describing this pain, I'm like, did she get fucking shot? Which like would not be at all out of the realm of possibility for
For
this
this,
book
like,
series.
right.
Like she's skiing and suddenly like someone zooms by, points a gun and shoots her in the
Hmm.
stomach and then zooms
Hmm.
off. Like I would not have been
Hmm.
surprised at
Very
all. I
much
was like,
par for the
okay,
course, as it were.
yeah, so on board with that.
Par for the
So on
slope.
board. Marvelous slow.
Mhm.
She also can't ski like me. But then I stopped being able to relate to her when she said that sleeping until 9 a.m. was sleeping late.
I know. I noticed that
I was
too.
like,
It was
that's
just really
disgusting.
funny.
I can't. Absolutely
Man,
not.
she could
Ma'am,
never sleep
who
this
are
late.
you? The first time
Yeah.
they have sex, they like hate fuck. Uh, and maybe I just wasn't paying close enough attention, but I was so confused because but when we by the time we got to the point where they started taking off clothes and they were like on the floor and he was like fucking her, I was like, when did we get inside? Are they still on the porch?
Mm.
Because they
I think you
start
were just
making out on the
confused.
porch. I was like, are they in her foyer? Like, oh no, they're in her bed. When did they get to her bedroom?
Hmm. I think you were just confused.
I don't know. I was very confused. And then I was like even more bludgeoned over the head because he calls their hate fuck, quote, rawer and more primal. But the way the audiobook narrator said rawr sound like rawr means I love you in dinosaur.
Mm-hmm.
And it just really
Mm-hmm.
it felt like the final like killing blow
Mm-hmm.
in a whole scene in which I was like, didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. I don't remember being like that confused by it though. So I think, yeah, you just like must have.
Did you also, maybe it was just because I was listening to so much Chappell Roan at the time, but the number of times when I have notes that begin with like, was it casual when, was it casual when he like takes her to the work picnic? When it was it casual when he like
What,
does
why?
X
Yeah, that must be. Why were you writing that? Yeah. I know.
because they're
I
like
what yeah.
because the whole time they're like, this is just friends with benefits. This is just casual.
Mm-hmm.
Josh is like, I
Mm-hmm.
am very smart. What if we just do friends with benefits and that will
Mm-hmm.
be fine and not turn into anything else?
Mm-hmm. Enemies with benefits. Yeah, there's just like a lot going on now that I'm thinking about it. Like a lot of different like and yet like not very much going on.
No.
Like there's like the whole like she overheard him shit talking her to whatever and like
That was not, I feel like that was kind of glossed over.
mhm,
Like they were enemies this whole time. They're enemies listener because
because of that.
yeah, because he told Ava not to be friends with her like 7 years ago.
Hmm.
And when she finally tells him, I don't know, I expected it to be a bigger deal. And like realistically, I
There's a
understand why
lot of
it's not
things.
because
Yeah.
they're like it's 7 years ago and we have been like
Hmm.
fucking for months at this point. So like,
Hmm. And obviously she stayed friends
okay.
with you also.
Yeah, so like it's really like not that big a deal, but I was like Josh needs to feel better about this. Why is he not riddled with guilt? I would be.
He probably doesn't even remember saying it, honestly. Like it's
I
hard
forget
to
whether he does or not. I think he does remember being like you were like she was like doing like stuff that was
out
getting
of
her in trouble
character.
and so I didn't
Yeah.
want her to be friends with you.
Oh yeah, and then with the fucking hacking tool, why would it have a beep? That's so stupid.
The fucking what?
The hacking tool at the end when she has to sneak in his apartment.
When she's like deleting the sex tape from the
Yeah.
ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
I don't know, so that we know it's done. Does that actually like have any effect? Like, does he hear the beep?
No.
Okay.
I guess she plays it off with like her phone, but like still, it seems like really. I don't know, imagine if you were a spy. Imagine she was actually a spy, like I thought she was. That would be really, really a big giveaway. Also, they go to the crochet museum in Whittlesburg.
Incredible.
Incredible.
I
It
want to
feels
go to the
really
crochet
silly that like
museum.
oh yeah, and then the random fucking date. This really is on me that I read it so disjointedly, but like it's just so silly that they're like we need to go on a date and they like don't see each other for days. I don't know, it just seems so like
Well, they're busy. He's
weird.
like a resident or whatever.
That's true, I guess, but like I don't know. It just seems weird and like formal.
I started watching Grey's Anatomy and I watched like one of the latest episodes, like of the season that's
Have you
coming out
seen it
now.
before?
Yes, I made it probably at least as far as like season 11. I made it like a little bit after Derek died. I watched one of the newer episodes and then I went back and then I was like, this is kind of boring. So then I went back to season one
Hmm.
and like not to be that person, but like I don't know how else to describe it, but that like it's too woke now. Like
What do
they
you
just
mean?
try really hard for like everyone to be like really like good and earnest and like socially conscious. I mean like the characters still have like I guess kind of flaws, but like they just don't want to like I don't know. Like
What
I don't
plot
know how
lines
to
are you
describe
thinking
like they're
of?
trying to be like really PC. Just like in the way like everyone interacts. I was
Interesting.
like no one's toxic anymore.
Mm. They're all
All
so
these
fucking
people have
toxic.
gone through time, like, but like in like a boring way.
Hmm. What do you
I was like,
mean?
they've all gone through, they've all, it's like all the characters went to therapy, and therapy didn't actually help them change or heal, but it did help them
Wait,
learn
are you talking
therapy
about
speak.
the original, like season
No,
one,
no,
or
no,
like?
the new one.
Oh, I thought you were saying that you tried to watch the new one and then you went back to season one. And
No,
you're
I'm
saying
saying
they're
the
too woke in
new
season
one's
one. I was like, what are
boring.
you talking about? They're cheesy
No.
and toxic. It's the 2000s. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
I believe that. I believe that.
No,
Yeah.
it just got so the
Yeah.
new ones. I'm like, is this just so like I feel
Mm-hmm.
like half because
Mm-hmm.
I've watched
Yeah.
a good amount of like the last few seasons, the most recent
Mm-hmm.
seasons that have come out. And I just feel like you're trying like they're just like I feel like I'm being preached to
Yeah.
like at least
Yeah.
50% of the time. And like I'm never what I never want to be that person that's like, oh, they're
No, I
including
get
like
it.
too many gays and like
No, but I get
whatever.
it. It feels very like, yeah, like try like pandering.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just like you can include this stuff. Like if you want to
But
include
like,
like
yeah,
an
yeah,
abortion plot line or like a COVID plot
whatever.
line, like fine, but like it just felt
Mm-hmm.
very
Yeah.
yeah.
I believe that. Yeah, I thought you were saying the original. I was like,
No.
I was racking my brain for like what plot lines you could possibly be thinking of, and I was like, maybe Izzy, because it's
No. No.
like whatever, like
No, no, no.
empowerment for strippers, like
No, not the beginning. No, not the early
like second wave
seasons. No, the
feminist,
new seasons,
whatever.
they're just so boring. Like nothing is also happening.
The medical stories were way better in the beginning too, because they were like asking real doctors, right? For like, what are your most interesting, like realistic stories, that, like have
Yeah.
actually happened?
Let's wrap this up.
Hmm.
Let's wrap this up with a cat scale. Normally enemies to lovers feels is usually like very cat-like, but I don't know, both of these people felt like they would never own a cat in their life.
Yeah,
Both
it's
of
too
these
like
characters
messy.
felt like Jules
Hmm.
is a cat, but she also is the person who's like, I just don't like cats.
Yeah,
I just
did she
feel like
doesn't she
they're
say
both
that
like
at some point?
I only like
I feel
dogs.
like she says that at some point, or I don't like dogs. They're too messy. God, dogs really are so grubby. I don't know how we like live. I don't know. I fucking love Peggy. I also
We
went so
lived with
long
a dog
without
ratio
having the
because we were the
hair.
ones actually taking care of the
No,
dog.
I know, but like, I guess she was small. It's really not as bad of a small guy, and she wasn't incontinent. Like I'm not. I guess I'm not. Yeah, Paco would not be nearly as. He's still very grubby, but like it wouldn't be nearly as bad.
Think I could do like a little like an a whippet. That's what they're called.
You don't need a dog. You have enough cats.
I could get
You
a
still want a
little
dog?
or like an Italian Greyhound. What's the really small one?
I think the Whippet is the smallest. I think Italian Greyhound
The
is like the
Whippet
middle
is the small
size.
one. No, the Italian Greyhound is the small one, and then a
Smaller than a
regular
Whippet?
Greyhound.
I
Yes,
thought a
and then the
Whippet is
regular.
basically basically an even smaller Greyhound, I thought. Like it's not called a Greyhound, but it is like basically.
No, Whippets are bigger.
Really? Rather than an Italian Greyhound?
Yes, an
No,
Italian
you're
Greyhound
right. You're right.
is not a regular Greyhound. An Italian Greyhound is a mini Greyhound.
Well, right, but I thought a Whippet was an even smaller dog.
No, see, that's what I
They're
thought
like the
too.
middle size. Interesting.
Yes, and but Italian Greyhound are the ones where they're basically just like cats.
Native land Greece, Turkey for an Italian. Well, yeah, why not just get a cat then? Whippet, England.
I'm
That's so
not saying I want
interesting.
a dog anytime soon.
I'm not getting a dog.
Anyway, yeah, cat scale. Surprisingly low, yeah, for an enemies to lovers.
Hmm.
Or maybe I just don't remember enough of the book to
Yeah, I don't
make a
really remember
sound
that much.
judgment. We do have the ugly painting, which is the through line of the entire series,
I really respect that.
being cat puke.
It's one of the many reasons I'm so invested in this fourth influencer book.
Yeah, you'll
Finally
have
get
to
to the
tell
bottom of
me.
it. It has high sentimental value, but he's told people that it contains business secrets.
The painting? Wait, how does the painting have high sentimental value when he didn't own it until like a month ago?
To Christian Harper.
Yes.
He did own it.
Why
He
does
did
the
own it. Then one of
no,
his
Josh
employees, like,
owned it.
no, no, no. No, Josh bought it at an estate sale where it was sold by accident. No, Christian Harper owned it. He hired people to guard it, and the people that he trusted to guard it, he told them, like, as a reason to like keep it safe, he was like, this contains really like confidential information. and one of his employees, a heretofore unseen Axel, betrayed him and stole it and gave it to like his rival firm, like Seminole or something like that. Yeah. And don't worry, Axel has been dispatched and he will use cyber crimes to take millions off Seminole's value. Don't worry, but not totally destroy it because that could be traced back to him. But it's
Wait,
enough
but
to
then
send
how
a
did
message.
Josh get
And I'm like,
it?
how do you send a message if it's not traced back to you? I don't know. I think Seminole found out it didn't have business secret. It convoluted, unclear. I don't know. I think maybe that story is true that it was sold by accident, or maybe they sold it to spite him or something. But I don't know. Everyone thinks anyway. The documents
But
are
now
forged. Like it's less
Dante
than
has it.
it's well because he bought it for Christian. Actually, Christian bought it, but like Dante's like the front man because the last person who tried to steal from Dante ended up in a 3-month coma with very detailed injuries, like broken fingers and ribs,
Yeah.
and like whatever,
Nice.
missing a leg, like something like that. So nobody's gonna try to steal from Dante. So Dante's like pretending like it's valuable by like displaying it and stuff. But really, all the documents are forged into thinking that's like an 18th century painting, and really it's like less than 2 decades old. Which made me think as soon as I heard that, I was like, we could be getting into the art forgery business. I feel like
I
that's a
read a
skill I could
book
hone.
that was a memoir of a man who was like the most prolific art forger in the United States for a long time. He did eventually
Hmm.
go to jail, but it seems like he only had like 5 years total of jail time. And it seems like he only got caught because he accidentally let the FBI know where his secret room was. It seems like all you got to do is like not let them know where your secret room is.
Yeah, stupid amateur mistake. I feel like we could do this.
It seemed like he just like
Not
practiced a
really. I
lot.
don't think.
I did get my paint by
Oh,
numbers kit for my birthday. I feel
nice.
like I could.
Oh, I'm gonna be honest. When I was just saying that, I had no aspirations to like forge the actual paintings. I just meant like the documents. Like
Okay.
that's what I was picturing, the paperwork. I don't know.
Okay.
You're right. I don't know where we'd source the like fake
Yeah,
paintings, I
where would
guess.
we get the paintings? We'd have to team up with some
The state
artist.
teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, we could just be like out here tracing, like fucking, I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that would work.
It'd be
Then we'd have
cool.
to like bake it in the oven a little bit to like make it seem old, you know.
Yeah, well, we got that on lock. Give me a tea bag and some
That's
fishing
true.
line, and we're in business.
So cats go for this. I'm thinking like a 2.
Yeah, very low.
Does that feel correct
Yeah,
to you?
yeah. hmm
Okay.
The vibes are
Well,
there.
listeners, that's the end of Twisted Hate. If you would like us to do the last book, what you should do
hmm
is contact Amazon and be like, let libraries buy Twisted Lies. Thank you. Cancel your exclusivities contract that you may or may not have, but
Of
probably
course
do
they do.
because
I mean,
that's
come
definitely what
on.
it is.
Yeah, like that's ridiculous. How is that allowed?
Okay, Rachel, where can they find us?
Well, God damn it. You got me. You got me there. You can find us on TikTok, sort of, Instagram and Facebook. We read it one night. Also, Allison's Etsy, Evelyn and Adelaide. Check it out.
You can
Um,
email us. We read it one night at
mhm,
gmail.com. Unless you're
mhm.
that bot that keeps sending me car insurance spam, no matter how many times I block you. If you're that person,
Nice.
stop fucking sending me that. I
Please
keep
no
blocking it and
contacting
reporting as
me.
spam, and they keep, I guess, coming up with new emails.
Please no contacting
Ding
me.
me. No contacting me. If you
What is it? Yeah, how
stop
does it go?
contacting me. Hello.
Please.
Is this
It's me
available?
available. Um, yes. Yeah, yeah, wait. Should I look it up?
No contacting me. Yes. So Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at We Read It One Night. We're also on Threads sometimes, which is also at We Read It One Night. We don't use X. I haven't posted on that. I don't really want to anymore. Um, I don't know. Maybe we'll go all crazy and make a red note. Should we make a red note, Rachel? Although our
I was just
podcast is
thinking
not
that.
distributed in China,
Oh
it's not allowed to be
no.
distributed in China.
Wow.
So a red note wouldn't be as helpful.
Damn it.
We would be learning Mandarin for nothing. They wouldn't even
Well, if
be able
there's
to
enough
download the
people, if there's enough
podcast.
other people on Red Note now, then it would be helpful.
Yeah. And I'm sure like the Chinese have VPNs. I'm sure
Good
like they
e
could
You're right.
if they
Good
wanted to.
evening. Is this available? Yes, it is. Please leave me alone. We are sleeping. Question mark. No more contacting, please. Thanks. Appreciate you contacted me. I know I'm no longer interested. Please stop contacting me now. I will contact Attorney General if you do not stop. Thanks.
Fucking classic.
Godspeed, comrades.
Godspeed. Godspeed, comrades. Godspeed.